YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with a review of Power Rangers Dino Supercharge episode 12, I believe. It might be 13. If I messed it up, I'll put an annotation up. Catching some rays. So to start here at the beginning, if you don't know, if you don't follow me on Twitter, I asked about this a few days ago. I'm going to be starting a new video series where I do a review weekly for the latest Power Rangers episode and the latest Superhero Time episodes. I'm going to be basically covering the last of Dino Charge. As far as Sentai goes, I'm going to start by covering the two-parter for Gokaiger, partly because it works better as a two-parter, and also I didn't have my new camera to do the other one by itself. And then I will be covering Rider weekly once X8 begins. For Ghost, I will do a series wrap. I'm going to sort of do these through the end of the year, into the beginning of next year, and see how they go. I just think it'd be a fun series to do, so I just wanted to say that at the beginning since this is the start of those videos. So yeah, just be informed of that. I'm going to describe a little bit of the structure. It's basically going to be like my ramble videos if you've watched those, where I just kind of, ramble and do a sort of review of it. And since it's a review, but it's not like an item where I can say I recommend this, because it will be weird to like recommend some episodes but not others, and if you followed it for whatever reason, just whatever. It's basically going to have a score system. I kind of hate doing that, but I'm going to try it out. I might modify it as time goes by. But it's basically going to be like a 1 is just awful, just terrible episode. 2 is just kind of bad, but a couple good parts in it. A 3 would just be kind of an average episode. A 4 is like a good episode, and a 5 is like an amazing, knocked it out of the park episode, and I'll probably do 0.5s, just so that you can get to the conclusion I'm getting at. And I think that's it. So like I said, I'm going to be doing these reviews, so keep a lookout for that. And also, this is my first vloggy video with my new camera, so I hope the audio sounds good. Let me know in the comments also if the video looks okay. I'm going to mess with the lighting a little bit more to get it more perfect, but honestly, it's looking a lot better than my old camera right now. So yeah, that's all the random stuff. I've just rambled on for 2 minutes about nonsense. I'm sorry if you came here to this video from the future, and because all this information is relevant now, excuse me. Anyway, so let's start. I want to start these videos with sort of the positives that I liked about each episode for any episodes I do. And if you follow me, you know I have a general distaste for Dino Charge, so that's kind of hard for me to do, but honestly, I was going into this episode looking for things that I liked. Also, I know I talk with my hands a lot, but anyway, I was looking for things that I liked because I want to start the video off on a positive note. And I was really trying, and I had a hard time with this one, guys, like for real. Even though I'm not a fan of Dino Charge, there's always some moments I can find that I like, but this is one of the most difficult. I have I think 3 things that I really liked, mainly, and they're mainly not even that great. One of them was that it was nice to see Kendall get out and actually use her Zord and do something, because she's very underutilized, honestly. But that also is going to tie into a negative, which I'll get into in a minute. The other thing I liked is at least we did advance the Silver Ranger plot a bit. We talked about it a bit at the beginning of the episode, and then we also capped it at the end of the episode. But again, that'll also tie into a negative point. And then the last one was I lightly chuckled when they found the caveman drawings, and Kendall was admiring them, and Coda said they were made from, I believe it was cranberries and mammoth poop. Might have been wrong about the type of berries. I'm probably gonna get scolded in the comments. It's like, damn it, Dawson, they were lingonberries. Unsubscribed. But anyway, so yeah, those were the only 3 things I could find that I could note that I kind of enjoyed. This was a filler episode, and honestly, it was one of the worst ones for me. And I guess I realized that filler episodes, which tend to be more fun, more comedic, often PR, are kind of subjective. Everybody's humor is different. Like last week's episode about the makeup I hated, but I know there were some people that enjoyed it, and I found the premise of that episode and this one to be dumb. But then there's an episode of Ninja Storm where they get turned into popcorn that on paper sounds dumb, and it kind of is a dumb concept, but I enjoy that filler. So it is kind of subjective, but personally I found both of these last 2 fillers to be obnoxious. I didn't like this one. I thought there was too much overacting, and it just made the whole cast seem annoying to me. I wasn't a fan of any of it. I think the only time I was a little bit amused was by a bit of Ivan's antics when Fury was going after their Energems, but just otherwise it just annoyed me personally. And I found the whole plot to be stupid. A monster that makes you feel like you're on vacation. And then you have the premise of this was a monster that was sealed away by Koda's grandfather. And even though it's probably, it's from Sledge's ship or whatever, it still is funny and weird. Not funny like haha, funny like stupid. That like you have this monster, it was from ancient caveman times, and it has an ice cream cone arm and like a surfboard back. So, and Kyoryuger's like pool of monsters is pretty fug. So it's hard to find one, but I feel like they could have found a different monster to make one that would have worked better for this premise. It really felt off. It like started the vibe of the episode off wrong in the first place, and so it was just so dumb filler, and the premise was dumb. I didn't like it. And there's little nitpicks I have on a side tangent about the whole caveman aspect of Coda, because it's all learned. I'm willing to bet, I mean, I wasn't there for sure, guys. I'll check next week when I go back in time. But they didn't call each other cavemen, so Coda's entire identity by calling himself a caveman is basically learned. And it bothers me even little elements like the monster calling him and his grandfather cavemen, or how they addressed it, because the monster wouldn't know that, because it's a term we came up with. So it's just kind of over-embellished and I don't like it. But the other main part of this episode, other than Coda's grandfather and then the fillery plot, was that Kendall's grandmother came to town. It was basically the B plot of learning to appreciate her grandmother, and she like fixed the plumbing. And I'm not opposed to that plot line, but I think the thing that bothered me about it was that we're wasting time bringing Kendall's grandmother in to basically say, hey, I should appreciate my grandmother, and give us the backstory of Kendall has a grandmother, when we could have used this Kendall focus time to focus on Kendall, because I honestly like Kendall, but she gets nothing. She's basically no character, and it's such a waste, because she could be one of the best ones in the series, and I feel that we could have used this time for the filler in general for something more important, or something more important on Kendall. Or I was thinking in this episode specifically, maybe you had it so everybody was affected by this vacation thing, including Coda, so with the exception of Kendall, and make a plot maybe about how Kendall has to work with Keeper to save him, and it was like the old times when it was just Kendall. And then finally give us a little bit backstory on that, but Keeper was gone, probably busy watching The Force Awakens for the 25th time before he showed up at the end. So it's just frustrating, because a lot of my distaste for the series comes from the fact that it has these cool ideas and elements in place, but it doesn't use them. So it was really frustrating to see Kendall get a focus episode, but not really have any substance, because it didn't really add any value to the character for me, and they could have used it this time. At the end, we did get another tease of the Silver Ranger being in space, and he's asking for their Zord blueprints. Wonder if he's suspicious. Wink, wink. Hashtag spoilers. Hash brown, no filter. But, yeah, it's good that we're moving the plot with that, but I hate that they feel like after credit scenes, like after the episode where we got Titano, sorry, we basically went into 2 weeks of filler with, like I said, after credit scenes almost of the plot, and that happens in PR. You know, you'll get plot and then filler, and then the plot will come back. But I've seen it done better where it feels still integrated, and right now it just feels so tacked on. And it's also frustrating because we have so little time to work with. You have 40 in total over the terms of the entire narrative, but 20 per series. And with the amount of content we have to cover, both with stuff that exists from the material we're using and the material they're writing, it just feels like we're wasting so much damn time, and it's kind of frustrating. But yeah, overall, I kind of hate that this was my first video review episode because it was such a negative, and honestly, I know that I'm really negative on Dino Charge, but I wanted to at least have an episode where I could come out with some better things to say, but this was honestly just a bad filler for me. So I apologize. I honestly did try to have more of a positive spin for this one, for the first video, but the Dino Charge ones probably won't be the most positive, but I'm hoping there'll at least be some more things to pull out of the episode that I like in the following weeks. But overall, I'll probably give this one a 1.5 out of 5. So it was pretty bad for me. I really didn't like it. Let's hope that next week's is better. Okay, so like I said, for the next video, it will be a review of the two-parter Zyuohger episode for the Gokaiger crossover. And then I'll be doing that afterwards, week to week, and not buddying them up because, like I said, this works better as a two-parter, and I really couldn't film it as a one-parter even if I wanted to. And for the time being, I'm going to keep Rider and Sentai separate instead of doing like a superhero time review, mainly because sometimes the subs come out almost a week apart. That's happened quite a bit recently, and that's fine. I'm not going to be mad about that because it's, you know, people doing that for us, you know, as a service, which is good. But I just want to, like, just, it would make the videos weird to wait so long when I could film a video about Georgia and Ryder's not out yet, so yeah. So anyway, like I said, in the comments, let me know how everything looks and sounds. That would be great, just because, I mean, I can hear it, but, you know, maybe I have a different perspective. And also just let me know what you thought of the episode, what you think of the video. I hope these do well, because I enjoy doing these type of videos. So I'm sorry I had to be so negative, but I appreciate you watching it and sitting through it. But anyway, until next time, make sure to check out the Crazy Podcast at WritersRangersRambles.com. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.